Hello everybody, this is Jandy the Artsy-Rose, and welcome back to Niflheim's Strangest Night with Philippe. Shall we continue where we left off? Niflheim's Strangest Night, Chapter 2. I was supposed to be in the castle gardens, so how did I end up here? I was completely at a loss in the gloomy forest. I feel kind of dizzy. If I remember correctly, the king was burning the book, and then all three of us were surrounded by the smoke. Jandy. Philip, who had been passed out next to me, spoke in a half-asleep tone. Good morning, Philip. Just like me, Philip looked all around him, and then he came to. What's going on? I have no clue. A red string? Philip noticed the red string that bound our ankles together. It was already there when I woke up. It's said that people are connected to their destined partners by a red string. It's a belief that originated from the Orient. The last scene of Love Caprica is just like this, too. What? The heroine and our lover are cornered, and they try to run away, but they couldn't find a safe place to hide. At the end, both of them die in the forest with a red string tied to each other's ankles. A lover's suicide. Yes. It looks like we got ourselves in the book somehow. No, it couldn't be. Where could we be? And where did the king go? Yeah, he was with us when we were surrounded by all the smoke. Let's look for him. When I was about to walk, I remembered that my ankle was still tied to Philip's by the red string. Yeah, you're kind of gonna need to take that off. Oh yeah, if we don't untie the string. I don't mind it. You don't? But it's so hard to walk this way. Because it makes me happy that we're bound by an actual physical red string. Philip? We don't need a physical one. Our hearts are already bound to each other by the invisible red string of fate, so we'd be fine either way. Isn't that right, my prince? As I tried to poke fun at him a little, Philip smiled like he was being tickled. That's right, you're my soulmate. Philip suddenly got closer to me. He then kissed me softly on the forehead, on the tip of my nose, and then on my cheek in that order. My heart is racing, but this isn't the time for this kind of stuff. We have no idea where we are, and we have to find the king. Even when I knew that was true, I couldn't refuse Philip's kisses. His lips touched my eyelids gently, and then parted. When I raised my head, Philip was looking at me, softly. Your face looks like you're fighting something, Jandy. That's not true. Sorry, it wasn't the best time for me to be doing that kind of stuff. It's a big shame that we couldn't continue this, but it can't be helped. We walked around the forest trying to find the king, but there was no sight of him at all. It might be better if we just tried to get out of the forest. Yeah, the king is really loud. So I think if he was nearby, we would have heard him by now, but... Once we moved our way through the forest, we came across scenery that was familiar to me somehow. I'll be right back. I want to stay like this forever, but we have to go find the king. As Philip prepared to kiss me on the eyelids this time, I stopped him gently. We have to find the king as soon as possible. As I said that, Philip showed a bitter smile on his face. You're thinking about another guy while I'm kissing you? That's just mean. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. I'm worried about the king too. But he says such nice things to me that I just couldn't help myself but to kiss you. Philip. But if anyone anyone finds out we're doing this, the king will be really angry. Philip made some distance between us slowly. I kind of regret stopping him, but it can't be helped. We walked around the forest trying to find the king, but there was no sight of him at all. It's Niflheim! I felt a huge weight being lifted off my shoulders, which means that we didn't end up that far away. The king might be in the town. The two of us went into town to search for the king, when suddenly a voice from my childhood approached me from behind. Wait! Please wait! When I turned to look, it was Skeletonno, who was rattling his knees as he ran, shouting out of breath. Well, if it isn't Bones. When I spotted you from behind, I thought it couldn't be you two, but I came running over here as fast as I could anyway. Skeletonno, have you seen the king? We've been searching for him, but... The king? Skeletonno's head tilted with a crack, becoming completely horizontal. Who was that? Huh? There is no such thing as a king in this country. Skeletonno, stop messing around. How dare you? I'm always dead serious in front of Miss Jandy. Miss Jandy? Skeletonno never calls me by my name. He always calls me Princess. But that's not important. I'm just glad that you two are so safe. I was so worried. Skeletonno hugged Philip extremely tight. Thanks. Philip's face showed that he was at a complete loss. I had no idea what to do when I heard that you two wanted to commit suicide together. Suicide? My voice got louder without me noticing it. We would never do something like that. But the two of you have become so depressed recently. We have? But you can't really be blamed for that. There was something fishy going on. Much like having missed a button while dressing up, Skeletonno's story and ours didn't fall into place. Philip whispered to me in a low voice, "This may be Niflheim, but not the one that we come from. What do you mean?" With a gloomy expression on his face, Philip talked to Skeletonno. Well, the truth is that Jandy and I have lost our memories. We can't remember who we are. What? Skeletonno took a huge step back in disbelief. What's Philip trying to do by saying that? We ate a strange colored mushroom in the forest, and then we got really sleepy. And when we regained consciousness, the two of us had forgotten lots of our precious memories. Are you saying that you're suffering from amnesia? I think so, yes. What? That's terrible! So, if you could fill us in on everything, we'd really appreciate it. Of course, I, Skeletonno, will do everything in my power to help you. Philip looked my way and gave me a small, convincing smile. Couldn't expect any less from Philip. As a novelist, he just has a way with words. First, Miss Jandy, you are the only daughter of a family in the East. Your parents passed away as soon as you were born. There is a man named Victor who served your parents. He's now your surrogate father. You live with Victor and your maid, Sunny. Really? An Eastern family. The hero of Caprica was also the only daughter of an Eastern family. And now, Lord Philip, you are the only son of a family in the West. And just like Miss Jandy, your parents are also deceased. However, I have served as your butler since you were a child. These bones full of love will never surrender. I see. Thanks. So that must mean that it's just the two of us living together, right? As soon as Philip asked that, Skeletonno's face became very dim. No, you have an uncle, who just happens to be a rich count. He is a venomous creature. His name is Orlando, and his heart is as cold as ice. To be honest, he frightens me. Skeletonno's bones started to rattle, shivering in fear. But here comes the most important part. The Eastern and the Western families have an incredible flood, and the word flood doesn't even cover it. Is it really that bad? Indeed it is. Quiller is stained in pools of blood untold every day. I turn towards Philip. The setting. It's exactly the same as the one from Love Caprica. So it looks like we really got drawn into the world in that book. But isn't that even possible? I mean, can anyone really enter inside a book? It looks like that Halloween curse was true after all. You mean that story that was in the Book of the Seven Wonders? Magical power concentrates during Halloween. That's why we can't mistreat our items. But we haven't mistreated anything. But the king was burning that book, wasn't he? I think the book didn't appreciate that and swallowed us up in the process because we were standing nearby. But then, how come everyone from Niflheim is in the book too? Well, this is a pretty interesting story, if I do say so myself. I am Jody the Artsy-Rose, and we will continue where we left off once I get 5 more tickets. Bye-bye.